in. The ethical marketing lies at the heart of the farmers' direct operations. That's what it was down to. Is that it's the operations they used, which took care of a lot of the issues that are happening, and that's where people are then more likely to go and shop at Co-op, because they provide products that are more ethical elements. They promote it in a more ethical way. They advertise it in a more ethical way, and people will pay a premium on stuff like that. So, and I'd be more than happy to pay a premium if I know local farmers and local dairy producers that are being sourced in local supermarkets are getting good value for money. So there's a lot around ethical marketing that can be touched and discussed about. Generally, I think consumers will favor ethical business practices and marketing over none. But I guess the element I have is, in a recession, when a lot of consumers' pockets are stretched, will they even care about where it comes from? Will they care more about price? And do consumers more care about price than where it's sourced from? We had the debacle with Tesco, remember, in terms of the meat having traces of horse meat, wasn't it? In the supermarkets. Josh is nodding. You're confused. You've got a confused look on your face, Callum.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah,
that actually is true. And then other supermarkets, I can't remember who came into it. And then came in the British standard and British sourced meats, and that's where that whole movement kind of came from. And like, this is locally sourced British farmers produced meat, because I had to be more stringent. But the prices went up for that. If you look at the meat prices back then to what meat prices are back now, significantly higher. But I always say that there's a point where, as consumers, the price is the only contributing factor when it comes to marketing, and then sometimes ethics just go out of the window. So is it hypocritical to have ethics in one scenario and then not a scenario? But then you've got to understand from a consumer's point of view, in terms of they're limited by what they can. Can you pay the extra premium for Co-op, farmers, lentils or beans, which is going to be £2 more per packet than, Asda's Basic range? And Asda's Basic products that came out, was rebranded recently, came under a lot of scrutiny because of the colour change and how it could be offensive to people going through the aisles, because it's big and yellow and stands out. And they're thinking of rethinking the packaging, but they've probably spent too much money on that to really care. So there's a stigma as well, a physical stigma, an image stigma, or I'm going to say not physical, an image stigma around stuff like that. And if you look at the trends, supermarkets are selling more of their basic items than actually more premium product items. And that's a cost of living crisis for you right now. So ethics in marketing, love the topic. So much more we can explore about this, but there's just some examples of what's good and what's bad. Let me know your views. If you've seen anything that you thought was unethical, any in terms of marketing, any brands or campaigns that you thought was more exploiting, or any of the elements I mentioned there, or any good examples as well, that brands that you support and you buy from because of their ethics in how they market themselves, and ethics in terms of how they market their company in terms of what they do. Do let us know in the comments. Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you found it useful. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe on all our podcast channels. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and follow, subscribe, and click on the bell notification. I look forward to catching up with you guys on the next episode, where I'll be talking about Performance Max campaigns, talking about Google, and probably what is now their main campaign feature. So do join me next week on that. Thank you very much.